Wait, you want to go live now? Uh, we're live in.
All right, what's up, guys? This is Blake,
And this is Brandon.
and this is the Sticky Buns Pod, but not really. This is like a like a news leak redacted document thing.
We're bringing a special episode to you guys. You guys are really lucky for this one. And honestly, Blake, I'm really excited to record this one. There's so much I want to talk about. I can't wait to get into it.
Dude, I'm really pumped as well, man. And so the topic of today, it's the Sony State of Play, the Nintendo Direct, and the Pokemon 25th anniversary. And we're just gonna talk about all the news that came out this past week. Normally we record videos, pretty well in advance, or not videos, podcast episodes, pretty well in advance. And gosh, we're just so excited to bring this to you. We're just gonna talk about the news. So do you want to go first, man? Do you want to start it off? Tell us what you're excited about from the Nintendo Direct, which happened on February 17th.
So the Nintendo Direct, there were a lot of titles that really piqued my interest in that one. And as a result, I went ahead and downloaded Animal Crossing on my Switch again.
Oh, nice, man.
I need to get back on Animal Crossing. Just such a calming game, and it's quite an experience. And that's one of the things that they spoke about on that Direct was the fact that Animal Crossing New Horizons, a title that's been out for about a year and a half now, 2 years, is getting a Super Mario update. I believe it already has happened, where you can put Super Mario items on the island. You can get like the green tube and like transport yourself between islands. You can get like the question mark blocks and hit those for some coins. You can really transform your island. You can try and recreate like a Mario game, and I really want to try and do that. It seems like quite the challenge.
Yeah, that's like so exciting, man. Go ahead.
I haven't been playing that game in such a long time, and this is quite the incentive to just get right back on it, try and keep the grind going. And that's something I like about Animal Crossing is there's always new things that they can incorporate and get us excited about. But on a different note, some more games that really piqued my interest. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Did you see that one, Blake?
Dude, I saw that. I thought that was already out. Is that not out already?
I think it is. But they're pretty sure they're putting in some DLC, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, you just look so excited right now. I'm excited that we're doing this. I just want to take like a step back and just say that I think it's cool that we're doing this.
I'm glad too, man. There's so much. And just in this Nintendo Direct, there's, we're going to talk about the Pokemon 25th anniversary. We're going to talk about the State of Play, but just in this Nintendo Direct, there was so much news.
Yeah, I think this is like the first Nintendo Direct in like 2 years, and it was like a whole full hour, which we'll have like a link to it down below, so you can just like go right to it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely give that a watch, and if you have a Switch, it'd be a great idea to check that out, get some ideas of some new games you might want to play. Splatoon 3 looked really interesting.
Have you ever played a Splatoon game?
Briefly, I've played Super Smash Bros. Splatoon is a character that's really fun to play with.
They have like Splatoon characters on, what is it, Mario Kart?
Mario Kart as well. Yes, they do.
I really have no experience with the title though. Could you tell us real quick what it is?
It's like, I guess Nintendo's version of like a Call of Duty. It's just people with these like tunes with guns that shoot paint. And basically you're paintballing. You're just paintballing and having a good time. It's a really fun game. I can't really speak to it as much as I'd like to. And I feel like Splatoon 3 is going to be my opportunity to really get into the industry and try it out for myself. I'm looking forward to that.
Man. I'm excited, dude.
Me too. Another game that looked really interesting was Mario Golf Super Rush.
Dude, that game looked really cool.
It really piqued my interest because it had all the Mario characters, and then just some of the features were like, is this even really a golf game?
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. I think they said they were going to introduce a couple new things, a couple new like game modes. And I guess that from what I've heard, a lot of people are excited about this because instead of having it be like, that's the only game mode, like they have just normal golf. And then this, like all of the game modes are extra and separate. So you have like really quite a lot of options on what you want to do.
Yeah, man, and there's a lot there. There's one game that I really wanted to ask you about. I couldn't really see on the Nintendo Direct. I was looking for like a clip on it. I think they just put a promo, but it's a game called Star Wars Hunters. Did you get a
Oh
chance to see that?
yeah. You know, let's take a pause and let's look that up real quick because I don't know anything about that, and I meant to do something on that.
All I caught was like it's based off of episode 6 and 7. Um, I believe it's a first person. They just
They didn't really.
all
They did. Yeah, they honestly they didn't say anything about it. Here, this is what the website says: Star Wars Hunters set after the fall of the Galactic Empire. Star Wars Hunters will bring players together in the thrilling team-based multiplayer battles. Select
mm,
from a diverse cast of new characters, including daring bounty hunters, heroes of the rebellion, and empires and Imperial stormtroopers. Star Wars Hunters will be free to play on the Nintendo Switch and App Store and Google
what?
Play coming 2021. So it kind of looks they have a trailer on their actual website. I'm going to play this right now.
Gotta give them some of that Star Wars Hunters. That's interesting. A free to play. It seems like maybe they're trying to compete with like a Fortnite, compete with like what are some other free to play
You
Apex
know what? Honestly,
Legends.
they have a free to play game. I think it's like Star Wars Galaxy maybe, and I think it's kind of just like a role, like it's like a turn-based combat kind of game, and you just like have like a team of people, and you just go into battles, and it kind of looks like they're gonna do like a newer version of something like that. But I personally I downloaded and played it a little bit in college, but I was kind of like I heard some like I heard that Star Wars, or well, I guess it's really EA, did some like really horrible things with that. And like the community of Star Wars Galaxy, like a lot of the people that had like YouTube channels and stuff, they were like so shitty to them. And I'm going to see if I can find more information on that. I'll put that down there too. So, but I think basically they were just like, they asked a lot of people, or they like forced a lot of people to take their stuff down. And I know what it was. They like deactivated some people's accounts after they had spent like thousands of dollars on
Oof, crap.
like the player packs, and like one person reported them for cheating, and they were like, I didn't cheat, and there was no way they could get that account back. And they had like a
Ridiculous.
verified like YouTube channel and stuff like that. So I'll see if I can find something and put that down there too. So I don't know. I'd be more interested in this to see who publishes it. Like obviously some other news that we've got recently is that EA no longer has the exclusive rights to Star Wars games, which is
Oh,
so awesome.
that's a
I mean,
godsend.
like we didn't get that this week, but that just makes me so happy because I think that EA fucked it up.
EA is just such a huge company, and they publish so many games, and it's just something about like when you have such a like wide breadth of work, it's easy to not like show certain projects the amount of love that other people who have more appreciation for it might. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna give EA any benefits of the doubt. So I mean, like I seriously loved playing Star Wars Battlefront,
yeah,
and
that was a good
they
one.
recently they had a huge resurgence in players, and it's kind of funny. This is like because I guess we're talking about news. I'll bring this up. They had EA tweeted something about how many new players were playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they were like, look, like it was kind of like under the assumption they're like, oh, like look how good we did, but it was like no, like and people just like really came at him on Twitter.
They shut him down real quick.
Yeah, they really. So basically, if you're not aware, there's like a huge controversy about Battlefront 2, which you can do your own research on, but I don't know, they took the game out of live service, and they just made horrible decision after horrible decision with the Star Wars gaming title, and it's really been a rough, I think 7 to 10 years that they've had the exclusive license. And like it's coming to an end, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
That's exciting because now, we have so many other platforms. The Switch, I feel like, is a really good platform for a Star Wars title.
Oh, Star Wars Legos is coming out sometime this year. I mean, like, we don't know when yet, but it should be coming out sometime this year.
That's really exciting.
That is super exciting because that's going to be like all 9 games, like complete remastered, which that just sounds so cool.
And then PlayStation 5, the new Xboxes. So, I mean, we really do have some exciting new platforms to, play Star Wars on. And I want to see what.
Yeah, I want to see what the stories can tell. Yeah.
Do you have a certain publisher that you would prefer take on this project?
I mean, honestly, I just think that the more people that are making them, the better. I mean, I love Star Wars games, so I'm always down to see something new and creative. And actually, like, kind of on that, my favorite publisher is Respawn, and they made Jedi Fallen Order, and I feel like I think that might be like one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm just like so happy that Respawn was able to make that under EA. I think that they're like a sub publisher of EA. Like, I think that EA might own them or own like a majority in their company or something like that. But like, I really like Respawn, so I'm happy that I think they're handling the second one as well. I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with that game, but I loved it. I thought it was so fun, and I feel like we really haven't talked about it at all on the pod. But
no, we haven't.
It was the first game that I 100%ed, and it means so much to me. So I feel like I got that out of this, but I think that's just because EA was like, we don't want the heat, and they gave it to Respawn. But
wait, hold up, I gotta clarify this. This is the first game. Jedi Fallen Order is the first game you've ever like 100%ed in general.
Yeah.
Or just out of Star Wars games?
No, like okay, so you know how you can beat a game and then you beat it and there's still like 80, like you're at like 80%.
Yeah, there's
like
always
100%. Yeah, this was the first one I've ever 100%. Yeah,
I see.
Which, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of like the story's what I'm here for, but no other game had ever really brought me in to where I was like, I want to 100% this.
Yeah,
I also, yeah. I mean, I also like, I had more free time at the time that this came out. I was on a job search as well, but still, I mean, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Man, you had a great experience, and I think I remember when you like first got your hands on it.
Yeah, I was working at Patagonia at the time,
and I think you and like maybe Maddie Mac Master, shout outs to Maddie Mac. I think he also had the title as well, and I think you guys were like talking about it. And,
yeah, man, we had a lot of good combos about that. He had told me that he got it at release date, and for some reason I just didn't get it at release. And then he was talking to him about it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna buy this like tonight when I get home. And I got it, and I was just like blown away. I actually remember when the trailer came out, it was like a Star Wars Celebration in like 2019, and I was like in the library at my college, like in between classes, and I was just like, my jaw just like dropped because like the trailer to that game is just like so epic. And I'm a fan of anything Star Wars, but like that story in particular where it's like a Jedi that survived. I mean, it's not really spoilers, but he survived like Order 66. And
yeah.
Just how he's, dude, it's just such a good game. But we got to move on because that's not what we're here to talk about.
We do.
But they also, when they announced that there's no longer going to be the exclusive, like EA no longer has the exclusive title, they also announced that they're going to do Indiana Jones. They're going to do a new Indiana Jones game as well.
Who EA is?
No. So Lucasfilm Studio.
Oh, okay.
And I guess like, honestly, like I'm really in the weeds on this. So I'm going to put like a video on YouTube from this guy named Battlefront Knight. And he covers like all Star Wars. gaming
Yeah.
news. So like if you want to take a look at this guy, like he's honestly got some great stuff out there, and you should check him out. And I really got a fondness in my heart because he's an EA hater as well. But,
Dude, on another note though, another game that I was really interested about, and I told you about this, but it was presented on both the State of Play and on the Nintendo Direct.
yeah, I think we should save that one. I know which one you're talking about. Do you
Okay,
care if I go over my Nintendo Direct ones first?
go for it. It's this one was also, I would prefer it on the Switch, so I'll go over
Okay.
it after
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Let's do that. I'll go over my stuff and then. So, dude, I thought that the Famicom Detective looked pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I thought like it looked like a cool vibe. So I mean, like
I
if the
agree.
reviews are like outstanding, I might check that out. But I've never really done like a detective game. Have you?
Not to my knowledge, no. And I was also really curious about that game. Like the story looked really interesting.
It looked like really cool, and like the art and like the graphics, that it looked like it looked cool. It looked really quality. But Monster Hunter, man, I was also interested in that. Did you like that trailer?
I didn't honestly get get
Didn't
to
do anything for you?
yeah, but elaborate more on Monster Hunter. Like what?
Yeah, so like so here's the thing. I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but every time I see those trailers, they just look like so cool. And I don't see, the thing is I don't think I'm gonna get in. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not gonna get into it, but from what I understand about the franchise, it is fun when you can play with other people. Because I guess it takes a lot to take on like one of these monsters. And I guess there's only like a couple in the game. So
Yeah.
I guess it takes like hours of play in order to prepare yourself to go and fight the monster.
Okay.
And I guess it's like better when you're playing with people. But also you kind of moved right on past it, and I wanted to talk to you more about this Mario Golf, man.
Oh yeah.
You see the speed golf? What was your thoughts on that?
Like when you have to like hit the ball and then you quickly have to move to the next pitch.
Yeah, so this is like the game mode of Mario Golf that they were like, we're
Yeah.
introducing this speed golf, and it kind of just looked like, I think the way they described it is it's always your turn, and it was like they had like a game clip of like a game clip of Luigi, and he was like at the back of the pack, and everybody was like hitting drives like halfway up I think they were like using drivers like halfway in the fairway in between them and the hole, and he like, because he was in the back, he got like an ice flower, and he was able to like ice skate, kick his ball or something, and it like put him on the green. And so like I guess you can use like power ups, and it looks like a
Yeah,
really.
on that note, I saw Yoshi. Yoshi got on like an egg and started.
Oh yeah. I don't know. That just looks so cool, man.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like an exciting game mode. Like you just want to get behind your ball and make sure you finish the what is it called?
Speed golf.
No, I mean when
Oh.
you start, like when you're golfing and you
The tee
start,
box.
you want to finish all of the holes,
All
right?
holes. Yeah.
Because
Have you ever played golf before?
I played it on Me Sports or
Oh,
Wii Sports.
man.
That's
Well,
all. Never in person.
Not to boast, but I was on my high school golf team, so.
Man, I wish. I feel like I'll do that once I'm an old man and I'm in a different tax bracket. I'll get in there.
I get that, man. It takes a lot of time in real life. It takes a lot of time to get good at golf, but it's a game that anybody can play. It's a sport that anybody can play. And
Yeah.
the longer you're at it, the better you're going to be.
All right, I got to get started soon.
No, man, there's no need. If you're halfway athletic, you can pick it up and be just as good as anybody. It's all about repetition. Quick golf tip: you want to go to the golfing range because that's where you want to hit as many balls as possible. But when you're on the golf course, you don't want to practice there because you want to hit as least amount of strokes as possible. So
Yeah.
you're just starting out. Go to the driving range.
Go to the driving range. That sounds like something fun to do, just to go hit some balls, practice. I got to do that sometime.
Definitely done. Have you
Um,
seen those? So I grew up in the Midwest, so they have these things. Top Golf. They're called Top Golf. Have you ever heard of Top Golf?
Top golf? No. What
It's
is
not
it?
something that they have out here on the East Coast. So Top Golf, if you want to Google it, dear listener, if you want to Google it too, Brandon, it's basically, it's like this huge golfing range, and you can just like go there. And so basically, like if you see those videos on the internet where people are being drunk and trying to hit the golf balls, that's at these Top Golf places. And it's basically like this huge field, and they have like 3 levels of people. So like if you're driving range, if you're hitting, you can be hitting a drive from like the 3rd floor of this Top Golf. Like you can go and get drinks there. It's kind of like a bowling alley, but it's for golf.
I'm seeing these photos, and it looks really interesting. So you got to like get it into specific holes on the.
No, it's just a driving range. You just go there to drink.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Drink and hit
maybe
some
you go
balls.
there to actually. I mean, it's kind of like the novelty of it. I think you pay for like an hour and you get as many balls as you want or something.
That sounds sick. It reminds me kind of like a Dave and Buster's, but just for like golf. Just
Yeah.
drive-
All right, we got to get off golf, man. Did you see the neon white?
Neon white. Nope. That totally went over my head.
Neon white. You're an assassin in heaven trying to kill demons. And
Okay.
it was like a first-person shooter, but it looked like you had to like cycle guns using cards. I don't know. That was the only one that I was like, maybe I'll check this out. I actually like, so far none of the ones that I've said, I don't think I'll check them out, but I thought they were cool. So what I am definitely gonna get though, I'm definitely gonna get the Zelda Skyward Sword.
Oh man. Yeah, the remake. It's a remake, right? Of an older game.
It's a remake of a Wii U Zelda game, and it just looks cool. I think it's really cool because they like in the Nintendo Direct they talk about how you can use the Joy-Cons as like controllers to actually swing the sword and shield, and it's like motion controls. And I love it when things experiment with that. Like I know it's a game that's already been out, but I didn't play it, so
Yeah, that's a very Wii kind of, mechanic.
Yeah, definitely. And I loved the Wii. I think that I wish that they would have done more with that. I'm really sad that, I mean, obviously, like, I'm glad that the Switch is the Switch and we're at where we're at. But I think that the Joy-Cons actually have the same kind of motion control that the Wii remotes did.
No, definitely. And they could easily go back to, dropping Wii remakes. I mean, we have the functionality now with
And the
with
hardware's
our
there
Switch.
and the Joy-Cons, like, it's already
Yeah.
there.
Wii Sports, man.
I wish they
gotta-
would bring that back, man.
They're just waiting. They're waiting, sitting on it, and as Nintendo loves to do. And we're gonna talk about that especially with the Pokemon 25th anniversary.
Yeah, definitely. Nintendo really just gatekeeps their stuff in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many arguments out there. I mean, you can find other stuff on the internet about that. But yeah, there's one more thing that I want to talk about on this Nintendo Direct before we move on. Did you see the Project Triangle Strategy?
That's
Did
the
you see
name
that?
of the game.
That's the name of the demo. So this is really cool. And I'm really excited that it kind of seems like this might, I don't know, Nintendo's trying this thing where they're putting a demo out of this game. And they said that, hey, we're really not sure what this game is going to be yet. They were very open about it. They were like, hey, like after you play it, we'll send you a survey and we'll take your feedback to make the game better.
Interesting.
So if you're interested in like how games are made and you don't know where to start, like this might be the perfect place to start for you. I just downloaded the demo myself. It is a strategy RPG game. Have you ever played one of those, Brandon?
Strategy role-playing game. Yeah, I probably have. I just can't think of any titles off the top of my head.
Yeah, I have never played a strategy RPG. And so this some other titles that would be strategy RPGs are like Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like I guess all of the Fire Emblem franchise would be like a strategy RPG. And I almost bought the last Fire Emblem game because I heard really good things about it, but I got too intimidated because I was like, I've never played a strategy RPG before. So this is like a demo, and I guess it takes a couple hours. I guess they said it's like a 7 hour, from what I hear, I guess it's like a 7 hour demo. which
Okay.
I don't know if that, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
I don't like it how they do that, man. Like the hour demos, they're just like you can play this game for a few
Oh,
hours.
no. I don't know. I think that I apologize. They do not have a set time limit on this demo. I guess they have like a linear path of like part of like the very middle of the story. And from what I hear, it takes about 7 hours to beat,
Okay.
which I think that that would be like a really cool introduction. I mean, especially, and like it's free. So if you've never played a strategy RPG and you're like, that sounds interesting to me, like check it out. I'm going to check it out. So I guess you'll hear more from me about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just downloaded that on my Switch today.
Cool. And those were all the titles in the Nintendo Direct that really.
Those were all the ones that stuck out to me, but I mean, really, the only one that I'm gonna buy for sure is the Zelda Skyward Sword, and I'm gonna check out the Project Triangle Strategy, and if Neon White is good, I'll check it out. But
I think I want to check out Knockout City on my Switch.
yeah, baby. So this is really cool. They featured this game on both the Switch and the PlayStation 1. I'm sorry, the Nintendo Direct and Sony State of Play. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, man?
Yeah, it's actually published by some people in upstate New York, which
Oh, that's cool.
when,
I didn't know
when
that.
they said that, it was really cool, really interested in it. And it's a dodgeball game, pretty much. They you're just walking around playing. It's a team-based multiplayer, basically just hurling dodgeballs at each other, and some pretty cool mechanics in there, pretty nice graphics, nice colors. I'm really interested in playing this game. I feel like it could really it's a sleeper. I feel like people might play it and be like, this is actually really fun, and it could grow on some people. I'm definitely going to try it out. And
Yeah, man, I'm really excited because it kind of like, dude, I'm seriously such a fan of like anything that has like the first person shooter multiplayer idea, but then they take away all the violence of it. And it
Yeah.
kind of looks like that. Like it's like instead of having a gun, you have a ball and you're playing dodgeball.
Yeah.
And that just seems like that's such a cool concept. And I love that. I'm such a fan of taking the violence out of it because you can still have the same thing, same experience without that.
Yeah.
And that I think that's really cool. I think that's one of the reasons I like Spellbreak so much.
Yeah.
Which did you ever check that out?
I haven't
Ryan
checked it out.
Shane, man.
Dude, I mean, it sounded really interesting, and yeah, man, I'm with you on that. On like taking the violence out, taking out the gore. It's just a fun game. You can still get the same out of it. I'm curious. Have you ever played dodgeball?
Yeah, gym class, middle school.
Man, I love that sport. That's one hell of a sport.
I love the dodgeball movie, man. If you could
That's
dodge.
oh man.
Man.
I gotta rewatch that movie.
Oh, that's funny. He's got like a pump for his, he like pumps up his. There's like a word for it, but I don't know. I don't know what it
Crotch?
is. No, there's like a word for like a prosthetic that you put in your pants. I guess it was like really popular from like the English royalty or something like that. Or
That's
the
interesting.
aristocracy of the 16th to 17th century, something like that. I'm honestly I'm ashamed that I even know that. Let's move on.
This is hilarious. I love this episode.
Yeah, I didn't love that, but but so anyways, back to Knockout City. I might bleep that out. I think I'm gonna do that.
Man, I didn't bleep out "Bye Felicia." Did you catch that on the last one?
Oh, dude, I haven't listened to it yet. I've been really busy.
Dude, it's hilarious. That's a funny episode.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I'm excited, man. Yeah, so Knockout it's for the Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, and you can register to play and be a part of the early access beta test. We're gonna do that so we can play it together. I'm gonna put the link in this episode description too. There's a lot of links here, but if you want to register, you can register to play on the Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. So, and I think it's February. I'm sorry, not February. It is April 2nd to April 4th of 2020 is when they're going to be having the beta test. So if you sign up, you have to sign up with EA, I think. Yeah, EA.com. So you have to sign in or create an account with EA, and then you'll be able to sign up. And we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. So do you want to move on to the Sony State of Play?
Let's keep it Nintendo and let's talk about that Pokemon 25th anniversary.
Oh, you want
Cool
to?
with
I
that.
was wanting to end it on that. Do you want to end it on that?
All right, yeah, let's end it on a high note then. Man, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, dude. Real quick on that. So I guess this is spoilers for one of our. This is not spoilers for FF7, but spoilers for one of our future episodes. I have an emulator that I got. I tried to put the original PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy 7 on my emulator, and it didn't work. So I still can't play this game. But
Why didn't it work? What happened?
oh, it's so complicated. I'll get into it later. But basically, the ROM that I downloaded did not have. It was just not compatible with the system that I have. Don't do that. Don't do ROMs. Don't do emulators until we talk about it. Have you ever played FF7?
Yeah, I played it briefly. My dad was really a big fan of it. When we had I believe it was PlayStation 3, and it might not have been Final Fantasy 7. It might have been.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game. Full
It might have been
disclosure.
a prior Final Fantasy. I think maybe Final Fantasy 5 or 6.
Is that the Persona Royal one?
Oh no, Persona 5 is a whole different.
Is that a different franchise?
Different, yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah,
Bleep
Final
that out,
Fantasy. Final Fantasy is just a really fun title. The colors are great. The story is just amazing.
Yeah, I think the original Final Fantasy VII is like regarded as one of the best video games of all time.
I think that's fair to say. I haven't really given.
I
it
haven't
much
really
love.
played it at all.
But I'm thinking about just getting it for PS4, and if
You
there
can
is
play the first part right now because that was part 2.
okay, so there's part 1, then part 2.
You could play part 1 right now. I think it was made for the PlayStation 4.
Okay, that's good to know.
Dude, you should check that out, man. I've heard really good things about it, and I think a lot of people were really concerned because I mean, like I said, people regard it as one of the best video games of all time, and I think that the majority was positive on it, which is kind of hard to do, especially like
No, it is
gaming's from the early 2000s and before.
just
and
gaming
that culture.
nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like the culture and everything, but. Yeah, I'm really excited to check this out. I mean, obviously, this is conditional on me getting a PlayStation 5, but it looks really cool. And like the story, I think it's basically like a group of individuals going against the corporation, for like environmental freedom. It's kind of like the vibe. I guess it's like environmental freedom and also like freedom of people. I think is kind of like the vibe of that game. So they're like the overarching stories, like to free people and planet from evil people.
Corporation.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's getting real.
Yeah,
And touch there.
yeah, I think that's like why people think it's one of the best games. I think it's like one of the first ones one of the first games to have a message like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm really interested in that because that's like, I guess, that just seems like a piece of gaming history that I would love to go into and experience. But yeah, you can experience the first part right now. You can download it right now.
I just might have to, man. I'm gonna take a look in this PlayStation store right after this episode.
You should take a look because I think they said something to where like if you already have it, maybe you get the second part for free. Or maybe not, or maybe it was something like if you already bought it, you can download it on PlayStation 5 or something like that. I would take a look at that and see like how they're doing that. Maybe read an article or two about that. But
yeah, I was because as you know, Blake, I've been really hesitant to pull the trigger on the PS5, but I might as well just get on it on the P4. Play it there.
Yeah, because it was made for the P4. You could play the first part of this now, and then by the time you get to play PlayStation 5, you can already be caught up.
Definitely, it sounds like a plan, man. I'm gonna check it out in the store.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
moving on, another game that really interested me. Another blast from the past. Crash Bandicoot 4.
Tell me about it, man.
That was a title that looked really interesting. Crash Bandicoot is one of those games where, like, I have an uncle that definitely used to play a lot of video games. He would play that game, I think, on the PS2, um, and I would just watch him play, but he didn't want to share. He was much older than I was, so I would like sit in the back and just pretend that I was playing with the remote. And
Oh yeah,
I have those
that's
memories.
cute, man. That's cute.
I gotta play this Crash Bandicoot 4, because it just looks so interesting. Did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This game did nothing for me.
I gotcha.
I have no nostalgia for Crash Bandicoot. I've never played one before,
Yeah.
but I mean, it looked, it kind of, honestly, it kind of looked like the same vibe of like Sonic the Hedgehog and, well, maybe not. That I take that back. It kind of looked like the same vibe as like Ratchet and Clank. And I feel like if you played Ratchet
Yeah,
and Clank,
I
you played
played that.
Ratchet and Clank, and I feel like they were like two competing titles, and I feel like I got Ratchet and Clank loyalty. So no, I mean
I
not that it
see. I
means
see.
anything, but
No, I
yeah,
get
dude,
that.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I get that. They're really similar titles, and you already played that one. It kind of reminds me of like Jack and Dexter, if you ever played that
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's
and
another one. That's cool.
and yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna try that title out and see what it's all about.
I'd love to hear about it, man. It looks really fun, and it like just like it kind of looks like the vibe of those games like just feel really PlayStation 2, but also like it's PlayStation 5 in 4K.
That's
And it
exactly how they
just
pitched it.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what that's like.
That sounds
And
like a
then
cool vibe, man. I'm really yeah, I'm about
and
it.
then the last one I wanted to talk about was Solar Ash. I think you might have
Yeah.
mentioned this game before to
Yeah,
me.
I think that I brought this up on the pod earlier when we talked about just things we were excited for about the new consoles. But go ahead,
Yeah.
man. Say
Um,
some things.
Honestly, that trailer I couldn't even really follow it. I was just so like dumbfounded at the concept. It was really interesting. Um, do you know it? Can you speak to it more,
Yeah, yeah,
Solar Ash?
absolutely. So it just honestly, like if you have not seen the trailer, it just looks so cool. And basically it's a platforming game, and we were able to through this new trailer they released a new trailer and some gameplay of the actual game, and it just looked so sick. It's they kind of pitch it as like a platformer where speed and motion are really the integral part of the game, and that just sounds so fun. And it's just got like the coolest art style as well, and it really kind of looks like you're from like the gameplay that we were able to see, it looks like you're just like skating through space, and just the vibe of that just looks so cool.
Definitely.
Do you want to say anything about that and like the platforming of it?
I might be mistaking Solar Ash for another game, but there was a trailer where they were talking about this game where you have 22 minutes to basically save the universe.
Oh yeah, that's a totally different game. I actually that game's out. I have that game.
You have that game. What is that game called? Do you know?
It's called Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds.
Yeah, dude,
Interesting.
that's on my backlog. I have it and I played it. Yeah, real quick before we get off Solar Ash, one thing that I wanted to say about Solar Ash is they said that they said slash confirmed that there would be combat in it, and combat that would aid the platforming, and they give us a quick glimpse of that. I don't really know if I don't know how I feel about that. I thought it was gonna be like just platforming, and I don't know. I mean, like obviously violence and combat is just like part of video games. But like I said, I'm just a sucker for anything that takes it out. And so the fact that they put that in, I don't know, it doesn't take it away. I mean, obviously I've never played it, but it makes me a little bit more hesitant. Yeah, so back to Outer Wilds. Dude, this game you could probably get for pretty cheap right now. It is an indie game, and it is really awesome. It's done by Mobius Digital,
And Annapurna, right?
I think it might be published by.
Annapurna. Anything Annapurna,
Mhm.
I've grown to like for some reason.
Yeah, I have too, man. They really put out some quality things, dude. Yeah, we should play this because I have this game and I was literally thinking about this game today. I was like, man, I should really get back on that because it is a really cool vibe. It really is, man. So you jump in this spaceship and you have 24 minutes until the sun in your solar system supernovas and you're like kind of caught in this time loop. And
Yeah.
it is just it's like it's all discovery. That's all it is. And you have to
Yeah.
fly from planet to planet. And I had not gotten very far in it just because, like, truthfully, when I downloaded it, I just had too many games that I was playing, and I'm now at a point where I'm like, all right, I can come back to this one. But it was so. I mean, obviously, like right away, I could tell it was like something special, and I did feel a little bit overwhelmed in the beginning, but I mean, I definitely think we should speak to it later, and we should look into that game. I don't remember what they said about it for it being on PlayStation though.
I might be mistaking it. Maybe it was on the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, you know what? I think that's probably what it was. They probably said that was coming to the Switch. Let's see. Yeah, that's totally it. Yeah, it's coming to Switch.
Let's see. Sorry for like mixing it up
Oh,
there. I know
no,
we're
you're
talking
good.
about
Don't even
State
worry
of
about
Play.
it. Honestly, that is, yeah, Outer Wilds, it won like a lot of game award. Or maybe it came in like outstandingly came in second across the board or something like that. I mean, not that that means anything. Yeah,
And that's
definitely worth checking out. And if you're interested at all in that storyline, it is really cool. It's really something.
it really that's there's no combat in there, right? Or any like violence.
No, it's just exploring and discovery, and it's like
That's awesome.
mystery and sci-fi, and it's just like it is so cool. You just get to explore this world that they built, and it's really something. And it's everything. It's like goofy too, because like the first. So I guess like to get into this a little bit, like the first life that you have, you're like talking to all these people, and basically you have to like go get the launch codes in order to take your spaceship out. And they're all like, oh, like, you know, it's your first day, like you might die, like ha ha ha, like I hope you don't. But then it's
They know.
and yeah, it's like everybody's like, oh, like space is so dangerous, are you sure you want to do this? Like, I mean, like I guess it's kind of like the rite of passage, but and they kind of like say it like everybody does it. And there's like the first guy that you talk to, he like you have like a long dialogue with him. But then it's funny because like after you, I mean, obviously you die, and after you
Yeah.
die, after you die, you go and talk to him again, and he's like, hey, like where are you going? You have to go get the launch pads. And you're like, no, I don't. Like I'm caught in a time loop. He's like, what? Are you sure you're okay to? And you're like, and he's like keeps talking. You're already gone because you got 22 minutes and you got to get going. But it's really
Yeah.
it's honestly, man, it is really clunky. I mean, not like clunky. It's like part of it, there is like a aspect of it that I think is like purposefully clunky, and it like so adds to it because it's like the spaceship. So like the world that you're on is like so plant like and like kind of like hippie, and then
Yeah.
the spaceship like is made of wood, and
What?
it is really cool, like the flying of it, because it like honestly like in my head I'm like, oh, like this is what flying would actually be like if you were like in like a wooden spaceship that kind of like resembles like the landing gear that landed on like Mars, the Mars rover.
Yeah.
Because like you can't move like you would move a spaceship in any other game. You can only move in the 6 directions. So you can move forward, back, side, up, and down. So like, you
Okay.
can't move in a diagonal.
Okay.
And it's really cool. And like when you land on a planet, you have to like lock onto its rotation and
So
like,
it's kind
fly
of
out.
it's a little like they probably had like a physicist like help them out with that
Yeah, it
stuff.
kind of really, yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, that is really intelligent and intellectual. Like just the feel of it and how they did it. But yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm looking
honestly,
forward to
we
it.
should check that game out. And you should look
Definitely.
into it too, dear listener.
Yeah,
But
check it out.
anyways, back to the Sony.
Yeah, what are some other games besides, the ones I mentioned that
Oh man,
you really
wow.
liked?
Dude, Returnal, which I think was like the first or second one after Crash Bandicoot. That looked honestly like something that's right up my alley. It was like a sci-fi kind of Souls-like looking thing, and it kind of just reminded me kind of like the vibe of Zombies, but like you could like there was like a story to it, and it looked really cool. There was Saifu, which just looked like a fighting game, but it kind of looked like every time you die, the person gets older,
Oh wow.
which I thought was, I mean, this is not the first time that has like that game mechanic has existed, but I've never played anything like that. So I
Yeah,
think
me
like by
either.
the end, you're just like an old man, but you
I
still
remember
have.
that trailer. It was like he like got beat up and then he like is on the floor and you can like see time pass and he gets like a beard.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that, I mean, honestly, this might even be made by the same people that I don't even know what the game was, but I know there was a game that was made, and every time you died, you aged up, or like every like 10 times you died, you aged up a decade or something like that. And it kind of seems like it's like a revamp of that. And I've never, like I said, I've never played anything like that. And I think that'd be a cool game mechanic to experience because of the stories that it could
Yeah.
tell with that game mechanic in it. But yeah, and then there was Solar Ash. Did you feel anything for the Deathloop game?
Deathloop.
It was the
No,
one where you're like the assassins and you are like caught in like a time loop.
that one, nope. That one didn't even really. That trailer didn't even catch me.
Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of them that didn't catch me as well. I don't know. I was wondering if you had any takes on that because I mean, that one didn't do anything for me, but I feel like that is like the perfect dream game for like a type of person. I don't know. It just seems like a really cool and unique vibe, but it's not. I mean, it's not for me. But I mean, who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe I'll maybe I'll get it. But the one that I was most excited about was Kenna the Bridge of Spirits, and like hands down, I am getting this game, and it just looks so cool to me. Like the combat, and it just looked like it really kind of looked and reminded me of like Jedi Fallen Order, which is kind of why I was like, oh, I'm about it. And then it's also like a fantasy vibe, which I'm like so about. And I, after seeing that trailer, I was like, all right, I'm actively trying to get a PS5 before this game drops. And it's supposed to release in August of
Okay, so
2020.
you got some time.
And I'm like, all right, I want to get a PS5 before then. That's my goal. My goal is to get a PS5 before Kenna Bridge of Spirits is released because that game looks like so much fun.
2021 PS5s. Man, I really got to get my hands on a digital edition.
Let's jump right into the Pokemon, dude.
Let's do it. Pokemon 25th anniversary. I saw you sent me some clips about Post Malone performing.
Dude, that Post Malone thing, that was awesome. It was honestly that virtual I loved it, dude. It was so awesome.
You
I'll
loved
put a
it?
link. I'll put a link to that too. I honestly, dude, when I saw this like announcement, I just like couldn't stop laughing. I was just laughing because like I don't know, for whatever reason, Post Malone just like makes me laugh. Like anything that he does, I'm just like it's whatever year it is, like live your life, dude. Like I love it. I'm all about it. And I mean, maybe it's the frat guy in me, but I love Post Malone music.
Dude, I do. I love Stony. Is that the name of one of his albums?
Yes, I think Stony was his first one.
That's fire.
Beer Bongs and Bentleys was the second one, and then Hollywood's Bleeding was the third one. Zach and Codeine, baby. Dude, my girlfriend gives me so much shit for liking them. She's like, that's such a frat guy. Like, that's so unintelligent.
She doesn't like the fact you like Post Malone.
Dude, I mean, I don't even know if I could say I mean, I don't know, whatever it is, he's got like the tats on his face. He just looks like a total dumbass, but I just love it.
Dude, he has some good songs though. He really does. Like that. He just really has some good songs. Like Feeling Whitney is, I think.
Yeah, no, he really does. I
some
really like
songs
his
are
music.
really
I mean,
nice.
he just kind of seems like the kind of guy that like if you saw him at a party, he'd be like, yo, you could put your cig out on my arm. I don't mind. I just feel like that's his whole vibe. And like I don't know. It just like anytime I see him do anything, it just makes me laugh. I just
He is a
think it's
character,
funny.
man. He's a character. He's a person I feel like will transcend, like, I want to say time, but I feel like that's an overstatement. But like 50
Yeah.
years from now, people will be like, "Oh, that was Post Malone," and like he made
Like,
X, Y, Z.
yeah. For kind of being like a kind of like a guy that wears camo and is wants to be a Bud Light sponsor. He like sometimes wears girl clothes and he like wears earrings that are definitely feminine. So I'm about it. I mean, whatever his vibe is, like I'm not gonna tap my face up, but dude, I love that you did, and I think it's funny.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. And like he does things like this, like
Yeah,
he's like
he's like a huge
Pokemon.
nerd. Like he's a nerd too, so I'm about it.
He's
But
like,
yeah,
fuck yeah.
honestly, that concert was cool. I watched it live on Twitch,
Oh
and
man, I wanted to watch it, but I was out with my girlfriend that day. We were celebrating.
happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. Big 21, man. It was super fun time.
I'm proud of you, man. You can finally buy some booze.
Yeah, I had some sake. That was my first drink as a 21-year-old.
Oh, that's a good choice.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it because I love sake, and I had it with some sushi. It was
Nice.
really good.
I had some good sake recently as well. I might have to steer you in the direction.
Put me on.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, dude, that Post Malone thing. It was really cool. It was cool. But I guess back to the Pokemon Direct. Honestly, like if you have not seen it and you like Pokemon at all, go watch this because like the first 5 minutes of this video are just like a celebration of all things Pokemon. And it's really cool. It's kind of something. It's something that's really cool to watch. I mean, obviously, there's all kinds of people that are Pokemon fans. Like, it is I guess, the most profitable intellectual property like ever. So, I mean, obviously, like so many people around the world watch this and love Pokemon, but the first 5 minutes really were really cool. It really kind of felt like a celebration. But do you wanna talk about what they announced, what they dropped?
Oh man, I think we were talking about this in a prior episode about how Pokemon has to remake Pearl and Diamond. And
I think we talked about that on our.
I think so, yeah. I
I
might
think
have
that he. I
mentioned
think
it.
that he literally. I think that he said that this was leaked, so he already knew about it.
Yeah, the Pokemon professor himself, he put us onto it. You're right. That
I might bleep that out.
do what you gotta do, man. But Pokemon Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. I believe those are the names of the titles. Correct me if I'm wrong, Blake.
No, yeah, it is Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond.
And man,
And
that's
it's like
probably
a true remake. So
Yeah.
they're not just like porting it, like it's a true remake, which is cool.
when you say they're not porting it, like they're not just taking the same
Yeah,
game
so
and giving it new graphics. They're actually like making a game for the Sinnoh region.
right. Yeah. I mean, well, they're not. Well, I guess maybe I overspoke, but it is not a straight port. I don't know. My interpretation that was it was a remake because so like I said, like I've said previously on the pod, I was doing a run of Pokemon Pearl and just the things that I saw from the trailer, I was like, oh, they totally redid that. Like, for example, when you battle in Pokemon Pearl on the DS version, it's like a gray tan background, and then there's like Pokemon and Pokemon. But then obviously with the newer versions, they have like if you get into a battle, there's like a 3D background, and you can like see the like if you're by trees, you can see the trees, and if you're by water, you see the water, and like you
Okay.
kind of see your natural surroundings. And it looked like from the battles that they showed, it looked like they had that. And I think that's like such a game changer. Like that really adds so much more to the world, or that adds so much more to the world and makes it easier to get lost in. So
Yeah, because they kind of spoiled us with this Sun Sword and Shield, with the They got to do something as far as like battle mechanics and like how Pokemon art and
Yeah, it's kind of
just
like I
like
don't know if we could go back after seeing, or like obviously we could go back, but I think we would notice the absence of it. So,
yeah.
but this is really cool. I mean something that I guess for the Pokemon lore people out there, in the original Pokemon Pearl version, they have like they introduce like all this lore, and you have to go and do Pokemon research in a library, and it has like a literal creation myth about the universe in that book.
They
So
do.
yeah.
I think Palkia is time. It represents time, and then the other one, Dialga, represents like dimensions. Just really interesting stuff, you know.
Yeah, so
And
it's really cool that they're releasing this at this time because they also announced a totally new game, and that also takes place in this region. So that looks really cool. But before we get into that, they also had Pokemon Snap.
tell me more about Pokemon Snap.
So did you see the trailer for that at all?
Very briefly, I must have
Yeah, so
skipped
they've
over it.
actually they've already announced this before, but they had more to it, and it looked so chill, man. It really kind of looked like a really peaceful world that you could just jump into. I think that it takes place in like a Pokemon safari area, and they have like all these Pokemon, and your objective is to take pictures of them. So you're like a photographer.
Okay,
But yeah,
that
it
sounds
is.
sick.
It just like the vibe of it really kind of felt like a lo-fi beats, like really peaceful kind of world that you could just like go to chill out in. And it really felt like kind of futuristic and sci-fi too, because you have this like bubble that can take you underwater into like all kinds of environments, and that really feels like the pods that they have in like Jurassic Park. And it just looked really cool, just like the vibe of that. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up personally, but that looked really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up Pokemon Snap either, and that must have been why I skipped over the trailer. Like I scrubbed through it. I didn't
No, yeah,
really.
I mean they're kind of long. Like,
I just wanted to get to Shining Pearl, man, and Brilliant Diamond. I saw that like the when you walk around in those titles, it still kind of looks like Pearl and
yeah, it
Diamond.
definitely still had the same kind of vibe, and it honestly it really looked like charmingly retro to where like it was like had a retro vibe, but it looks like they touched it up a little.
Yeah, they touched it up, made it a little nicer to the eye. Um, and on that note, you know, the Sinnoh region, from my understanding, Pokemon Legends Arceus is you have to craft the Pokédex for the region, for the Sinnoh region. You have
Oh,
to
really?
explore it, explore the region, and it's undiscovered. So like you're cataloging all these Pokemon, and you're like one of the first people to log these. And I think it's an open world, right?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. So they also the last thing that they announced was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which they didn't really say too much about it. They more showed us, and it really looked like the first open world Pokemon game. Like I mean, obviously, like Pokemon's open, like it's one of the most open world RPGs out there, which is why we all love it. But it really looked like open world,
Breath of the Wild type.
yeah, kind of like a Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I do remember them explicitly saying they were like we used a lot of the same like graphics as Breath of the Wild.
Oh, they did.
That was something that yeah they mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. So it really, yeah, it was like it looked like an open world, and I don't know, it just looks like insane, man. Like the act to actually have like an open world like that, it, I don't know. That's just like I don't know. I can only speak for myself, but that's like what I've been wanting, since I played the one of those where I was like, oh, I can go anywhere. Like that's awesome. Like they should make a Pokemon game like this. Like,
Right, where it's not that like linear like Gym A, Gym B, Gym C,
yeah, and also like
story.
there's like
Like
the like a Route 5, and you can only go on the Route 5, and you can't go beyond that.
Yeah.
And it just looks like a huge whole map, kind of like the wild area, but like the whole world's like the wild area.
Yeah.
And it just like honestly, like go watch the trailer for this because it looks absolutely insane. And like the Pokeballs just look so charming because they're made of wood.
Yep. Like I was saying, it's like the
It's like the early, yeah. Oh man, this like it has like such a fantasy vibe too, which is like,
yeah.
I mean, most of the other Pokemon you have like a phone or something, like the Pokédex, but oh my gosh, this just like I'm like blown away just by the trailer. And I just can't wait to play this.
What'd they say? Do you remember as far as like release? Did they say something about like 2022, late
I
2022?
think they might have said late 2022, but I think they also said like a disclaimer, like we might push this back if it's not ready.
Yeah, I can imagine they would want to take their time with the title.
Yeah,
like
especially with something like this, where like if they're gonna change the Pokemon game forever with this.
That's probably what they're going for, man, because now we're getting into some really good, like, just processing and with the Switch. And
if the hardware can handle it, man.
We're going to do it, you know? They're going to move forward with the franchise and try and drop some games like that. That's exciting. It's exciting to see where they go with this. I'm stoked. I'm so stoked to play this title. I'm definitely going to get it.
Yo, there's no question, man. There's no question. And it just seems... God, it just seems like what I've been waiting for since like games have evolved past, you know, because I mean, it just feels like honestly, how different is the original Pearl from Emerald and the games before it, you know, like it's kind of, they follow the same mold and the same path. And yeah, it's new people, new Pokemon, like a new storyline, but it's kind of like the same, it's just the same blueprint. And this just looks like they're totally breaking the mold and making like a huge open world kind of game. I just couldn't be more pumped for it, man. It really feels like now's the time to be getting back into Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the 25th anniversary and just seeing just how much people really love the franchise. And
yeah, it's really awesome. I really feel like I mean, me personally, I feel like I got really lucky because I got back into Pokemon like right before all this happened, and now I have like so much to be excited about. You know, like I'm still playing through Sword and trying to finish that Pokédex. So
yeah, man, I'm still playing through Sword. I still have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which I recently moved some Pokemon over from Eevee to Sword. I mean to Shield.
Do you have Pokemon Home?
Yeah, I had to get a little subscription for that, and I went ahead and like got on Pokemon Sun and Moon, sent over some things.
Nice.
I got on there's a game before Sun and Moon, X and Y. Got on that, sent some things over. So I got some really nice gems, man. We got to trade.
Yeah, dude, we should. I'm pretty close to the end of my Pokédex too. We could probably finish each other's out with what we got.
We got to see.
We should do that. We should set up a trade time. Do you want to end this up, man? End up this news leak.
This news episode, man. I'm glad we did this. We had so much to talk about.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you know, it's cool that we were able to do this. You know, I mean, a lot of, like I said, we kind of have really planned out our episodes like weeks in advance, you know, because we're both really busy. But it's really cool to be able to cover the news, you know.
Oh yeah, especially when it's this darn exciting.
Yeah, I mean, 3 major like direct news releases for all the major systems. You know, it's awesome. I mean, except Xbox, but man, what are you gonna do? But oh my gosh, yeah, dude, it's honestly there's so much to be excited about. I'm really glad that we did this. This was really fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening, tuning into the Sticky Buttons pod. You know, stay tuned and definitely check out those links down at the bottom.
Yeah, definitely check out the links that we posted, and we're really excited. I mean, let us know if you liked this as well. You know, this is the first time we're really talking about what's on the news. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys.